Hello again. Hope everything is going well with you. Now, I just wanted to revisit one of the areas in which I think is very central to a business and its plans, and that is the area of strategy. And thinking in more detail about strategy, I couldn't help but think that I had this nagging feeling which was asking the question, sometimes we're so busy with so many things on our plate in the business, why should we bother with strategy? So I then sort of thought, would there be a time or a situation in which strategy would not be applicable, would be irrelevant? And I thought perhaps one could argue that in a situation where it is a business monopoly, strategy would not be that much of a consideration. That in that kind of an environment, if you had a ton of money to throw around and the results and the performance results are not that much of a uh, urgent area of importance, then perhaps a monopoly would be such a situation where strategy isn't that much of a consideration, and one could say that it's irrelevant in that situation because you don't have anyone else to measure up against. You're not in a race to compete for the client's dollar. So, in a monopoly, then arguably I'd say strategy is irrelevant. But having said that, it's not likely at all that many businesses and many companies, uh, and yours and mine, we don't find ourselves in that kind of a situation. And one of the influential uh, people who have helped shape my thinking in terms of strategy is Michael Porter. And he has this model that's called the five competitive forces. And there's YouTube videos. There is also a PDF that goes into more detail about this, and it's very insightful. Um, but just to have a look at it, it's very true that we are faced with new competitors coming into the market, new companies coming into the market. We're also faced with uh, existing companies innovating on the products or services that's being offered to the market. Um, and while we're facing this kind of thing, we have to deal with satisfying both buyers on the one end and suppliers on the other end. And it's a balancing act. And I guess if you're not strategic in your approach and your direction, you could end up very easily um, losing control to these areas and jumping from one place to the other, putting out fires, so to speak. So I had a look at my consulting knowledge bank and the system which it's based on. I've added tweaks to it and improved upon it, but the system in itself and the case studies, it's based on a 30-year model, and I found that being strategic really is a central catalytic element to a business's success. In order to boost performance and results, a strategic consideration is a necessity. Um, these are just some of the case studies that we have, and you know, as you can see here, they talk about increase in sales uh, due to a strategically thought out partnership. Um, resulting in 50% more and getting more profitable, creation of new profit centers. This would all require strategic considerations in order to design this. Um, getting more results without hiring more people, finding a way to leverage somehow. And this one's huge as well. Outmarketing larger competitors. Uh, Optimizing your existing marketing budget, getting results across the board in your business, um, increasing the value of your business so you can sell it off for more than its value. Being strategic is definitely um, a catalyst for all these types of improvements. And once you've figured out a new direction, a new strategic direction, implementing and putting it into place would provide such results for improvements. So, as I was saying earlier, we do get busy with different priorities in different areas, and it does distract the focus from time to time. And so, I'd I'd say that consistently revisiting your strategic direction is very important and central to the success of your business. Um, Now you can be strategic and do your strategic thinking in many ways. The way I do it, and you can consider looking at these in your business as well, is to have a diagnostic process in which you then sort of get a overview uh, snapshot of the current status of the business, the company, and also being able to then zoom into specific areas and then applying decision filters. You know, these are the types of things that consultation can assist with, and then towards the latter part of it, the implementation and the taking of action on the new strategic direction. Um, so I wanted to add more discussion into the area of strategy, and I think what I will be talking about soon in more detail would be things to do with strategy, such as a central strategic positioning. That would be a key driver in all success, whether it's for business or personal. But this kind of a strategic positioning would be a very central driver. And interestingly, some of our case studies have responses from some MBAs, and it was very interesting. So I'll be sharing some of that with you in the near future. Another thing which I wanted to share with you is the areas in which you can be strategic, and it's quite comprehensive. As I was saying earlier, it could be personal, it could be business, but there are many areas in which strategic positioning can be applied and utilized. Um, well, this one's very interesting. To look at strategy would be uninteresting in a way if you couldn't find something cool about it. So I think I've derived some cool aspects from which being strategic can benefit us. Um, and a framework to look at strategy, the considerations and insights you need when pursuing strategic positioning. Um, and I'll also be talking about this non-strategic state that businesses regress to. All right, and it's due to what I call the double helix dynamic. And so I hope to share some of these in future. And so stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.